Tesla is planning 7 huge upgrades for both the Model 3 and Model Y that are going to totally change these cars forever. And we've got some brand new details on not only on what is actually going to change with these cars, all the new features that Tesla is going to add, but we've also got some new details on exactly when these new Model 3s and Model Ys will be rolling off the production line for you to buy. And surprisingly, it's a lot sooner and later than you'd think. So let me break down the top 7 big changes coming to both the Model 3 and Model Y very soon. Let me tell you what you need to know, all the new features, and also whether you should buy a Tesla right now or wait for these big new upgrades. Is this refresh really worth waiting for? I'll give you the honest truth. And a big thanks to Tenet for sponsoring this video. So let me start this video first off with a little bit of context, because if you clicked on this video and you have heard all this weird words about Project Highland and Project Juniper and you have no idea what's going on, trust me, you are not alone. There have been so many different leaks and rumors in the Tesla community, so let me break everything down and tell you what we actually know as of right now. According to multiple independent sources, Tesla is working simultaneously right now on 2 refreshes to their most popular cars. That would be the Model 3 and the Model Y. Now, the Model 3 debuted all the way back in 2017 when it actually officially rolled off the production line and went on sale, and since then has gotten very few changes. There have been some minor upgrades to the design on the inside and outside. There have been some downgrades with the removal of radar and ultrasonic sensors. Lots of changes, of course, to the price over the years, but by and large, since that car was shown off originally at that unveil event to now, it's really remained largely unchanged. It's a similar story for the Model Y. Since it was debuted and went on sale in 2020, not really a whole lot has really changed with that car. Actually, fewer things have changed with the Model Y than the Model 3. Obviously, the 2 cars share a whole lot of the same DNA. They're built on the same sort of Gen 2 platform. So when one car gets an update, usually the other one follows. So when we heard all these refreshed rumors about Model 3s and getting some big upgrades, we assumed a Model Y was going to get those same upgrades. And while that is partially true, it's not actually the whole story. Specifically, these reports indicate that the Model 3 is going to get some major upgrades to many different aspects of the car, and this should be one of, if not the most significant changes this car has seen, basically since it debuted a number of years ago. The codename here is Project Highland. Reportedly, according to Reuters, Tesla has been working on this refreshed model for years, and lately these models have been leaking over and over again. We've actually seen them on the road, new hardware is being tested, and many are wondering what's actually going to be different here, because we had heard all these reports about a big design change, changes on the inside, outside, new hardware. But according to these alleged spy shots, the design here looks pretty much the same, so let's take a bit of a closer look. If these photos are in fact showing the real Project Highland, then yes, the overall design of this car is not going to drastically change, which would make sense given the amount of money and time and R&D and complexity Tesla has invested in producing these cars at scale. It was hard enough for Tesla to get the machinery around the world sort of fine-tuned enough to pump these cars out. So when they'd make a refresh model, they don't want to make too many changes that would disrupt production. So that's what it seems like Tesla is doing. They're doing smaller changes. What does appear to be different here is some stuff on the front and the back, because that's where these sort of Project Highland cars are cloaked on the roads. And while the design might change or might not change, what does appear apparent is that Tesla is testing some all new hardware. The best guess right now is that these cars are equipped with hardware 4, which sort of overhauls Tesla's vision system. It's going to have a lot of new details, a lot of new upgrades and new cameras, but I'll come back to that in just a moment. We do also notice some different aero wheels here on at least one of these Project Highland cars that has been sort of making its way around town. And while the design might not change, there is a good chance, according to Elon and Tesla's design chief, that we might see some new colors come to the all-new 3 and Y. All right, now before we continue, let's take a quick break for just a moment, because I've got a big secret you guys need to know. Whether you are a current Tesla owner, sort of driving and loving your car, or more importantly, you are a new Tesla owner, maybe looking to buy one of these EVs in the not so distant future, I got something to tell you, honestly the truth, and that's that financing your EV purchase doesn't have to be a painful or frustrating experience, contrary to popular belief. It can be simple, it can be easy, and can all be done by the experts who really understand EV ownership. And if all that sounds amazing, then you have got to know more about this video's sponsor, and that's Tenet. Now, if you have not heard of Tenet before, let me introduce you to an amazing company that is on a mission to help you drive electric for less by offering a number of different financing options that you can apply for in less than 10 minutes and with just a couple of simple taps right on your phone. And one of the things that I love most about Tenet, what I just sort of mentioned a moment ago, is that they're not like traditional auto lenders. They're not a dime a dozen. They've got expertise in the EV space, and they have some special offerings for those of you looking to buy an EV. For example, with Tenet, you can defer up to 25% of your principal balance until the very last payment of your loan, which gives you the flexibility to use any federal tax credit and/or any state rebates to pay down your principal when you're ready. And you've also got the option for customizable add-ons as well, including things like warranty, gap insurance, EV charging, and a whole lot more. Also, Tenet is only partnering with mission-aligned financiers that also care about the climate, which allows for lower interest rates for your EV and loan terms up to 84 months if you want maximum flexibility. And don't just take my word for it, you can check this out for yourself right now. Just click that link right down below in the description, hop onto the Tenet website, and you can plug in the numbers and see how much you can save by using Tenet for your financing. And even if you're looking to refinance the EV you've already got, Tenet is able to help with that as well and could save you a considerable amount of money. Simply put, Tenet is here to make what is usually one of the most frustrating parts of buying a car super simple, super easy. It can all be done right from your phone. They understand the EV market and are offering some great ways you can save. I highly recommend you check them out. So again, learn more about Tenet and check it out for yourself today. Learn more about all their offerings by clicking the link right down below in the description. Despite some recent conflicting reports, Elon himself confirmed some new colors were coming to the US. His design chief all but confirmed it was coming as well. And according to some recent news, Giga Texas has upgraded their paint shop capabilities recently, and it looks like they may be upgrading them to support these new European colors of Quicksilver, Midnight Cherry, and also maybe one more new surprise color that might have just leaked. We've seen some recent alleged leak spy shots over Giga Berlin of a new blue color, which has been rumored for a while, that would replace this metallic blue that we've got right now with something a little bit different. And like I mentioned just a moment ago, one of the other big changes here on the outside of these cars is going to be the addition of Hardware 4. This is basically Tesla's next generation computer system and hardware system for autopilot and full self-driving. It runs their vision system, which is used for everything from Sentry mode to full self-driving to detecting different objects around the car. It's a really important system. In fact, we've actually gotten some extensive leaks on Hardware 4 over the last couple of weeks. And according to infamous Tesla sort of hacker insider Green the Only, Tesla is already equipping cars with Hardware 4 right now that are rolling off the production line. And according to another recent leak, it looks like Tesla is now sort of alerting customers that their cars will have some new hardware. Some features might not be ready just yet, but it looks like Hardware 4 is in the works, and while not officially announced, sort of already being built and deployed on cars that are going to be on the road very soon. In terms of what could change, Hardware 4 looks to be a pretty end-to-end change. It's going to affect everything. New cameras, new sensors, new powerful processor. Everything is going to get pretty overhauled here. So according to these leaks, we should get a more sort of powerful processing system to sort of run this whole thing. We're going to get a new HD radar system that should be coming to these cars, which should be really cool to see. And then also the number of cameras around the car has gone up from 8 cameras to 11 cameras with one extra port there for a possible expansion later on down the road. And then also the resolution of the cameras has increased significantly to give this vision system some better data to work with. Also worth noting here is that some of these cameras will be on the back of the car, which according to Green the Only means that Tesla now has the hardware capability of doing a 360 top-down view sort of view for your car. This has been on other cars for years and years. Many owners have been very frustrated that Tesla hasn't added this. I think there was some sort of hardware limitation why Tesla couldn't do it, but now they've got the hardware to make this happen. In fact, we just saw on the latest Cybertruck prototype at Investor Day that it also has a camera on the front bumper as well. So it looks likely that a 360-degree top-down view should be coming to the Model 3, Model Y, Cybertruck, and basically all Hardware 4-equipped cars really soon, which is going to be really a very welcomed addition. Now, what's set to be even more interesting and more exciting and also much more controversial than the changes on the outside should be the changes happening on the inside. Because again, according to this original Reuters report, we might see some changes to screens. They say that the infotainment system might be getting an upgrade, maybe a speaker system upgrade. And then also, of course, one of the most controversial changes here is going to come to the steering wheel and the stalks. One of the biggest and most controversial rumors of this refresh is that Tesla is going to remove the stalks, those little selectors on either side of the wheel, and move all of those to touch-sensitive, touch-based controls on the steering wheel, sort of similar to what the yoke is doing on the Model S and Model X, but it wouldn't be a yoke wheel. Instead, Tesla could do two things. One is that they could give us a wheel very similar to what's in the Tesla Semi, basically a regular old round steering wheel with touch-sensitive buttons built in, or maybe they adopt this new design that we've got in the Cybertruck that's sort of a more squarish, rectangular-ish sort of wheel. It's still a traditional wheel in a bit of a unique shape that, again, it ditches the stalks and then puts all of the controls on this sort of a middle of the wheel itself. In fact, we got a recent render, sort of a concept of what this could look like, and I think it looks really cool. It's going to take some time to sort of get used to it and adjust to it, but this does look like a very bold design move that Tesla could make, and many owners are both happy and not so happy about this. What are your thoughts on Tesla sort of removing the stalks? Do you think that all of the stuff should just live in the wheel and sort of be able to do everything sort of based off touch while you're holding the wheel, or do you wish Tesla would keep those stalks? Let me know your thoughts on that and this controversy down below in the comments. Another big change that has some owners very happy and some upset is that Tesla, for better or worse, is planning to remove the iconic wood trim that has been in the black interior of the Model 3 and Model Y since the very beginning, and replacing it with a new non-woven fabric material. This should obviously be cheaper to produce, which should make Tesla very happy, sort of make these cars more efficient and cheaper to build, and also might make the interior of the car look a bit more modern and more stylish. Many owners had long complained that the wood looked a little tired and dated, so this new material might be in there to sort of freshen things up. And also, maybe Tesla could offer this in different colors or different finishes to sort of add a new layer of customization for owners, so they basically just don't have two choices, either, black or white or whatever it is. Hopefully there's a little bit of an extra flair here, a little extra layer to make this a little bit more interesting. We've also heard persistent rumors that Tesla might be adding a second display to the Model 3 and Model Y as well. In fact, new versions of the Model Y on the road right now, basically since 2022, have a dedicated port on their motherboard that is labeled for a second display. And again, according to Tesla Insider Green the Only, this isn't like a copy-paste version of the Model S and Model X board. This is a special board for the Model Y that looks like at some point was destined to be used for a second display, but that might not have been sort of ready in time. It didn't happen, but that might be about to change, and a new display might be coming to these refreshed models. Of course, the big question, though, is that when Tesla says second display, what do they mean? Do they mean sort of a second display in the driver's field of view, similar to what's on the S and the X, sort of that nice premium extra screen that you have to work with for things like speedometer, autopilot, media playback, stuff like that? Or, probably more likely, when Tesla says second display, are they talking about that rear display in the back? Something for back passengers to adjust climate control and have entertainment stuff and play games and music and stuff like that. What second display could we see? We have no additional detail on what we could see. Will this come standard? Will it be a secondary option for additional amount of money? We don't know, but there has been persistent rumors that Tesla could add that, and if the current sort of hardware in the cars is anything to go off of, looks like this has been in the works for a while and might be finally coming soon. Okay, so that's about all that we know about these refresh changes right now. We've got some changes on the inside, outside, color, stuff like that, but let's answer the big questions that are on your mind. A couple of questions here. One is that when can we see these cars? And then also, should you buy now? Should you wait? Is it worth waiting for these things? Let me tell you what I would do if I was in your position looking to buy a Tesla right now. So first things first, two different timelines to keep in mind. The Model 3 and Model Y, as similar as these cars are actually not going to share the same refresh production timeline. According to Reuters, we should be seeing the Model 3 refresh come off the production line in September of 2023. So about, 6-ish months from now? I guess a little longer than that. It's going to be a little bit of time, but we should see that sort of after the summer, sort of late summer, early fall, we should be getting these new Model 3s available to actually buy. For the Model Y, it's a little bit different because according to the recent Reuters report that came out just a couple of days ago, these cars would not be ready and sort of rolling off the production line until October of 2024. So about a 13-month gap, a difference here between refreshed Model 3s and Model Ys, which sort of changes the story because my advice is going to be different depending on the car you're looking to buy. Obviously, one of the big things you've got to keep in mind is price. Tesla has been known for changing prices on a dime, and one of the risks of waiting, either for a Model 3 or Model Y, means that the price could go up, it could go down, incentives could change. Things are moving very rapidly in this space, so that is definitely something to keep in mind. But putting price to the side for a moment, what should you do? Well, if I was looking to buy a Model 3 today, I would think long and hard about when I place my order, because these design changes should be significant and should sort of future-proof the car, especially with Hardware 4 and stuff like that. I might just wait until September if I could to get this car. But with that sort of in mind, we've also heard some speculation that Hardware 4 could be launching early and sort of apart from this refresh. So maybe over the next couple of weeks, we could see Hardware 4 roll out to the Model 3 and Model Y with no design change, and then a design change happen later on down the road later this year. That's sort of a gamble that we just don't know any more information about, because it already seems like the S and X have Hardware 4, but we just don't know as of right now. So if I was going to buy a new Tesla and I could wait, especially if I was going to buy Model 3, I might just wait until September just to see what could happen, or at least wait a couple of months to see what would happen, and that would be that. On the Model Y side, it's a little bit of a tougher story, because we're talking more than a year. What are we talking, like 18-ish months until we could see that? And that's sort of a harder decision to make. It sort of comes in mind with the Model 3 as well. And I guess sort of my other overarching sort of advice here is that a couple of things. If you need a car now, get a car. You're going to be really happy with the Tesla you're going to get today. It's going to have some great features. Incentives are there. Pricing is good. Now is not a bad time to buy a Tesla. And you know, for better or worse, exactly what you're getting. Yes, you're missing radar. You're missing ultrasonic sensors. That is a problem. We'll get into that in a separate video. But at least you know what you're getting with prices and features right now. If you need a car, later on, then it's worth waiting. With the Model Y, though, it is tough. I mean, October 2024 being the time, but then we all know how Tesla and Elon is, with timelines. Who even knows? So that's a little bit of a tougher thing to decide on. I also would say that it's better to buy based off of facts and features we know about right now than what could or could not happen. So I guess my overall saying here is that if you want the latest and greatest for your Tesla, you're looking to hold on to this for years and years, and you can wait for a refresh, then I would wait as long as you can to see what could change for better or worse. But if you need a car right now, you're set on a Tesla, you've got the financing ready to go, maybe you're working with Tenet and you are ready to go with this car, then I probably wouldn't wait. I'd order that Tesla. I'd be happy with what I get right now, knowing full well that something is going to change in a couple of months, but not going to let that hold me back from the excitement of my car. I see comments time and time again in my comment section about people who are saying, should I buy now? Should I wait? What about this? What about that? Get the car you want right now. Enjoy that car. You're going to love it, because things will always change. Things are always going to get better. Things are going to get worse. I mean, we even know people who waited for refresh models and sort of got features removed in 2023 when Tesla removed ultrasonic sensors and radar and stuff like that. So you're taking a gamble here either way you go. But I think that if you want a car, get it now, be happy. But if you can wait and you want the latest and greatest, you might be waiting a while, but we know those changes should be coming over the next couple of years, or year and a half-ish or so, depending on the model. As always, though, I want to know your thoughts. What are your thoughts on all this? Your thoughts on Project Highland, Project Juniper? Do you think these refreshes are worth the price? Do you think the prices are going to go up, go down? Your thoughts on what Tesla's changing? Are they changing enough? Are they not changing enough? Do you have a suggestion on what they should change? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for watching. I'm Robert Rosenfeld, and I'll see you all in the next one.